Well, howdy, good people. Thanks for tuning in today. So, I returned from Jamaica probably about 2.5 weeks ago. Still very sad. But it was good to get back home and check on my garden. That was the first thing I did when I got out of the car. And so, I'm making a video to kind of just update you on where the garden is doing right now in the middle of July. Well, not quite the middle, but we're getting there. So I have this fig tree that I bought 2 years ago, I think, from Tractor Supply Company, and she's taken off. But her leaves are kind of yellow, so I think I need to feed it. I fed it before the end of the year, but I was a little neglectful this year, so I haven't really fed it. But this is the first year that I have figs. One right there, and I just saw this one 2 days ago. So, super excited. Hopefully the birds won't get that like they did my blueberries. Um, More peppermint, just because I love peppermint. Haven't really done much with flowers this year. My husband bought some hanging baskets and he did a little thing right there. This year was just super busy with getting my son ready for graduation, with his graduation party, going to Jamaica, taking him on a little graduation trip to Miami. So we just been really busy. And so now I'm feeling like things are just kind of slowing down and I can pay attention. I just have to highlight this little plant right here. I did cuttings of that from my mother-in-law's plant that she's had for over 30 years. So Daisy Bell, if you watch, she is still doing beautifully. Another one of my little tomato plants that I found outside growing. And then my insurance guy, he loves flowers too. So he brought me this one. I think it's called a Rose of Sharon. And I can't remember what this one is called. But I know this one, I just have a feeling this one's going to be pretty thick and invasive. And so wherever I put her, she's got to stay. So I'm still trying to figure out where it's going to go. So let's go on mosey on down here to the yard, see what I got going on down here. Be careful going down these stairs with a hot cup of coffee. So normally I like to get out super early in the morning and just take a look before all the sawmill starts going. That's what you might hear in the background. But this morning I had to run my son up to get his wisdom teeth taken out. So I finally got him home and settled. And I was like, let's get out here and make an update video. Okay, so we're going to start at the top of the house. So the zinnias that I told you I planted, those are starting to come in. And I put some other seeds down here and when I planted these, and they did not come up. So I'm not having luck with these seeds that have this coating on them that's supposed to help them take off and grow. I have not had one of them produce, so I won't be buying those anymore. My kale plant, oh no, collard plant. You see the little dragonfly. I love just coming outside and just watching them. You see, I still have some more pods that I need to harvest. So I'm taking a chance and I'm going with some zucchini again. I tell you, the squash bug situation that I've had when trying to grow zucchinis has just been horrendous. So I planted some nasturtiums, which are down in the ground, not coming up yet. Apparently, they detract squash bugs. And I've got some kind of natural pesticide that I'm going to put like in a perimeter around this squash plant when I remember to go do it and see if maybe that'll make a difference this year because I really do miss homegrown squash. Some kales. And I've still been cutting off of these, and it is July. So, yeah. You know, when you don't, what I'm realizing is when you don't do farming as like your way of life, which I admire folks that do that because they have to fight with pests, they have to fight with weather, and, you know, just all kinds of things. You don't have to worry about growing seasons for things. Because I remember going to this farmer that's around here locally, great farmer, they have great produce. Um, and I asked for something specific. I think it was Swiss chard. And she was like, that's not the season for that. But I tell you, and when we get down to the main part, I'll show you. My Swiss chard is still growing like gangbusters. Whoop! Had a little itch there. Okay, so here's some more zucchini squash I planted. Oh, actually, I think that's butternut. Those two were butternut. My lettuce plant that I told you that keeps coming back. My carrots are going crazy. I did plant some spring onions in here, so that's what you see, those little shoots. But once again, those were those pre-coated seeds, and you know, you can see 3 of them came up. So not too impressed with those. These are my wax beans. You can see lots of beans. I've already harvested once since we've come back from Jamaica, and you can see there's more to do soon. And those were the best beans ever, I'm telling you. And here's the other set of beans that I planted in succession to keep the beans going. Now, if you looked at the last video, you recall I just had 2 tiny little watermelon plants. Now look at it. It has taken over this whole area. And if you remember, I said I was taking a chance by putting those 2 together. I probably could have gotten away with 1, but I was trying to be greedy. But not 1 watermelon on there yet. I'm not quite certain what's going on. It seems like this summer's kind of mild, so, and I'm in zone 7. Usually it is like blazing hot and everything's burnt up, but not this year. Here's my little beet plants that's growing there. I'm using that for salads. And my dandelion, I don't know if you remember seeing that, but I'm gonna just let that keep going because those dandelions, it cost a grip in the store. So let's walk down here to the main part. My feet are getting soaking wet. The dew is all over the grass, but that's okay. All right. I just love coming out here this time. I mean, there's not much noise going on. My neighbors aren't really out because probably most people are at work. And, well, like I told you, today I took vacation because I had to take my son to get his teeth pulled. So I would normally be in my house working away. All right, let's go in here. Forgive me if you hear me slurping, but just drinking some more coffee, my 2nd cup for the day. All right, let's get in here. Okay, well, let's start to my right. So I don't know if you remember, but I had tiny little tomato plant seedlings that I found growing in the ground. And I don't know, my shadow might be obscuring them. You can see they're starting to grow. You know, everything's an experiment with me, as I told you. It's probably kind of late in the season for these, but you know, the season seems to be mild and extending itself, so we're just gonna go with it. That's the nasturtium that I planted there. Now this bed earlier, before I left, was filled with what I kept calling mustards. Once again, because Leslie doesn't keep a good tracking system, they were turnips, and they were the best turnips that I ever had. I harvested those before I left. No, I'm sorry, I harvested those when I came back. And so Gave some to my mom, cooked some for my family, and they were the best. Now, this is my poor little sunflower plant. Bugs are just attacking that like crazy. I got to figure out how to not have that happen. But these were supposed to be like chocolate colored sunflowers. So maybe something will still come of them. Now, this is a zucchini squash. I see that moth there. Get rid of you. And I always flip the leaves over every day, just looking for those squash bug seeds. They are a nemesis, I tell you. Oh, I don't remember planting that one, but I don't know if that's an offshoot or if that was there. Now, I also planted some nasturtium in here too, so hopefully those will be coming up. This is lemon balm here, and so apparently it makes really great herbal tea. And I threw some nasturtium in there because I had a lot of oh, damn it. Gee, spilled my coffee. Had a lot of nasturtium seeds, so they're growing everywhere. More turnips. And I just left these. And as you can see, they're kind of not really producing big roots, probably because I didn't thin them, which I didn't really understand when I first started gardening. I was like, thinning? What's thinning? Just let it keep growing. Well, this is what happens when you don't thin them. You get little small products. A turnip should be nice and round and full, but as you can see, these aren't. But the greens are still tasty, so I'll just keep them and snip off of them to have for greens. I'm trying to figure out what's going to go in this space, but I think I'm going to put some more turnips because those seem to grow really well and you don't have to do much to them. And everybody liked the turnip greens. So over here, acorn squash that I planted kind of late in the season. I did find some squash bug eggs on one of these, and I plucked it off and stamped it down and almost burnt it because I don't want no squash bugs. But I put some nasturtium in here too. My collards, which are still growing. Now, there are some drought resistant and sun resistant collards. I don't know if that's what I have, but these jokers won't stop producing, and they are the best. I've got my beets in here. I'm about ready to harvest those, I think. I was trying to just let them get a little bigger. Now, you got to be careful, guys, reaching in here like this. I need to make sure there are no black snakes, copperheads, because they love living over here, let me tell you. And I don't want to get surprised. My husband always tells me, be careful. So I just want to show you this beet. It's beautiful. I can't wait to have it. I love beets, and they're good for you. There's this crazy product I've seen on TV. It's called beet powder. And I'm like, why are we so obsessed with trying to concentrate everything down and make it instant? Just eat the beet. Juice the beet. Bake the beet. Whatever. Just eat it. Don't try to rush things, you know? It takes time for things to grow and get to a place where you can enjoy it. And I just think in our society today, we're just so obsessed with trying to have everything so instant. Now, you're probably looking and saying, what are all these holes? I do have a pest problem, but you know, I just feel like I just gotta somehow live with the pests. Unless you're a green caterpillar and you're on my tomato plant, then you're dead. So, another sunflower plant. Poor thing. More nasturtium. Now, if you recall, I showed you my eggplant and it was just 2 little tiny eggplants. It's looking a little wimp because it's hot right now and probably could use a little watering, but we just had a ton of rain. But I might water today in the evening. But this is my eggplant. And I said I was going to separate them out, and guess what? I didn't do it. Oh well. I think these are spring onions. Once again, Leslie doesn't pay attention to what she plants. And I don't know what these are. I think those are just weeds. And this was something. You know what? I think I had collards here, and I think that might be a remnant from a collard plant. So I'm just realizing that I had a pack of seeds, and they didn't do well. And I kept thinking, well, maybe it's me. I'm not planting them right. And then I'm starting to realize, well, you know what? Maybe it's just bad seed. These were supposed to be mixed peppers, jalapenos, and banana peppers. And none of them have done well. None of them have grown, as you can see. And I planted these on 7/2, and it's now 7/10, and not one hair of anything. So I'm going to chalk it up to bad seed. But you can see the other peppers I planted, they're coming up. So I'm real encouraged by these. Don't ask me what they are. Don't know. But we'll see. So I've got some pepper plants right there too that are coming up. So I'm going to let those keep going. More nasturtium. And this is just an experiment right here. I had packs of seeds and I was like, just throw it in a pot, Leslie. Petunias, as you can see. I love petunias. Some nasturtium, and I think I even have some salad mix. Now, of course, I'm not going to eat out of this because I don't want to be eating petunia seed or nasturtium leaves. So we're just going to let this grow, and hopefully we'll have some more petunias. I can see buds on here, so I'm super excited to show you what that looks like when it buds. Rosemary, looking good. Thyme, still growing. I just used some of that last night. Woo! Bee. Just used some of that last night to make some lentils. More oregano. She's starting to head out for the season, but I just come out and keep pinching the flower heads off and extending her. Somehow spearmint got mixed in there, but yeah, well. And another pot with, okay, this bee doesn't want to leave me alone, people. Another pot full of petunias and salad and nasturtium. Okay, here's my tomatoes. I'm so stoked to see these grow. Like I told you, these were the ones that I just kind of found growing in the ground. And look, there she is. Tomatoes. So I'm going to safely say this is a cherry tomato. I'm going to say that. Still have my greens going, my salad greens. I found some bok choy growing in here. Now I did plant, what did I plant in here? Eggplant. I put some eggplant in here, hoping maybe I'll get some more eggplant. But we'll see. And turnips. See, like I said, when you don't thin them, this is what happens. But that's okay, because we eat the turnip greens. My sage. Don't know don't know what kind of tomato this is. I'm betting it's probably a cherry tomato, because I picked it up from the same area where I found the other ones growing. But if it's not, that's fine. I'll take it. Cilantro. It's kind of done for this season, and it's pretty like woody, like it's stalky, so I still use it. I just strip the leaves off of it and chop it up, and it tastes the same to me. That's my spinach, which that season's over. Got some more kale still growing right here. Yeah, spearmint. All right, here's the star of the garden right now. Cucumbers. Every morning, the bees are out here, and day and night, just going mad. As you can see, I might catch some in here. This is my lemon cucumber plant, which I noticed there were some little fruits on them, but I'm not sure if it has blossom end rot yet, because they just didn't look normal. But I don't know, I'm trying to catch that little buddy. Oh yeah. See, they love it. Love it. Ooh, there was one. Sorry to disturb you. Here we go. And then I come out and I just kind of rework them and thread them through the trellis. I was actually cutting some of the leaves back just because it seemed like I had more leaves than actual fruit. So I don't want all the energy going into maintaining leaves. But if you can look through there, you see I got some more cucumbers. But I got a lot of flowers, but I'm just not seeing a lot of fruit. And same here. Catch that little buddy doing his job. Yep, I'm gonna go around this way so I don't disturb him and get stung. All right, lavender still growing. Salad, I've cut off that several times already. And I figured out what my drainage problem was here. I didn't have big enough holes. So I just poked holes inside and then all of a sudden started draining. So my Thai basil is growing. Oh, flowers. Let's dead those. I actually told my son today if he could pick up some rice noodles so that we could make some spring rolls with this Thai basil. Or you can make it with regular basil too. It's, that's fine. But look at this regular basil. This is like the basil you find in the grocery store that you pay $3 something for a small, like 8 leaves. It's ridiculous, the price of basil. And you can just put it in a container and there you go. You got basil your whole summer. I mean, it's just the best and it smells so good. I just love it. So my snap peas have finished for the season. As you can see, just letting these go to seed so that I have seed for next time. So my plan is to, once this is all kind of done, I'm going to give it till the end of the week. And I'm going to pull it all out. And I'm going to put some more cucumber in here. And we'll see how we do. If the cucumber does well, this cucumber over here will probably be finishing up its last leg. I'll pull that out and then probably swap this area over here for the snap peas. I mean, the bees are just, I don't know if you can see it, but they are just in there. Now, I know some people are looking at this and saying, that is a wreck. The way she got those cucumbers just growing all over the place. But I'm still figuring things out. So, give me a break. See that? And I'm just not finding any fruits in here, which, I mean, that looks like it could be one. I don't know. Looks like it could be one, but I looked at the end of a couple of them that looked like that, and they were brown on the ends. So usually that means blossom end rot, which usually means you're probably short. You're probably deficient in something. So like, I'm gonna show you this one. Like the bottom of it, it just doesn't look like it's taken off. So I don't know. I'm gonna try some things and then we'll see. I got some things in my bag of tricks that I'm gonna put on it and we'll see if that makes a difference. So my Swiss chard, as you can see, is still growing, and it's not Swiss chard season, but for Leslie it is. And then I even went ahead and just planted some more Swiss chard because it's absolutely great. I found a new way to cook it, which is right on the grill. So if I'm grilling something for dinner that night, I just come out here, take some clippings, and then throw it on the grill and grill it up. And it has like this smoky flavor that is just so fabulous. Of course, the spinach. I'm surprised it's even still here, but you know, maybe it'll come back in the fall. I'm gonna just leave it. My potatoes are going insane. I wish I had planted more. I really do, because I love potatoes. But next time. I really wanted to do sweet potatoes, but I was just not having luck with sweet potatoes. So not this season, but maybe next year we'll get it right. Okay. Oh, one more thing to show you. So before I left, I took you down to see my blueberries, and I showed you all my blueberries that were there. Well, since I've been back from Jamaica, I was hoping Leslie's going to harvest herself her first few blueberries. Maybe that's my problem. Can't get them right. Well, let me show you. Somebody beat me to the punch. Get off. Somebody beat me to the punch. Them birds came in and ate all my berries. And I didn't think anything of the birds initially because every morning I would wake up and sometimes I'd see a bird sitting right here on that stump or sitting over here on this stump. And I didn't think anything of it until I came down to say, oh, let's pick some blueberries. And they had already done the job for me. That's all right. They got to eat too. Compost. And once again, I'm not going back here because I don't have any shoes on to cover my feet. But I don't know if you can see that. My blueberries are blackberries are still like in this stunned stage. So I'm not going to worry about it too much. So that's it. Showing you what's going on in the garden. Let me give you a view of the backyard because my plan next year, oh, there's a hummingbird. I don't know if you can see that, but it's flying around over there. I get distracted like when I see squirrels, so. But as I was saying, my plan next year is that size garden is going to be a second one right next to it. And maybe extend the back portion because the back side gets shade around 3 o'clock. And so I'm thinking maybe I can have more of my shady things in there. So as my garden expands, I'll be able to have like my vegetables that require a little bit more indirect sunlight. So like more of my greens. In this area, like I said, next year I got plans for you. I really do. And my kids would probably appreciate it because right now they're the ones cutting the grass. So they wouldn't mind it at all. I'm hoping to get 4 fruit trees. Not sure what kind of fruit trees I'm going to get, but something to go in this area. And then I have this space over here. I don't know if you can see it because it gets shaded when I go under. Hopefully you will. But after we cleared out all this space because we had nothing else to do during COVID, so we cleaned out all the woods, and that was an ordeal, but one that I love because now it gives me direct view into my wooded area, which extends in the back of my house. And I don't know, it's just something beautiful about being able to look through the trees, see sunlight hit areas that I normally don't walk into. There's a small stream back there, but don't get it twisted, so what are snakes. So I don't go back there often during this season. But it's not unusual for me to come out and find box turtles coming out of the woods, hanging around the garden, going back in. And my daughter actually saw a groundhog that was sitting at the back of the woods last week. So it's just I just love it. I really do. I'm very privileged and blessed. And it's not lost on me. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So this space right here, I need to do something with this. And I think a sitting area would be great. But I worry about mosquitoes because they are something furious out here. But this is to come in the future. This space right here is going to turn into something. Haven't figured it out yet, but maybe next year I will be showing you that. All right, people, so that's the end of my update, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.